My original home state, Oklahoma, is taking another L, and I saw this and I was like, please don't be Oklahoma. Please don't be Oklahoma. Damn, it's Oklahoma. And on top of that, where she got her education from, I think it was at the University of Oklahoma. So Boomer Sooner. Oh no. Horrible story. And what this woman did is beyond excusable. Okay. It needs to be punished. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And we talk about all different races. So in this case, it looks like we got to talk about the Indian race, or at least an Indian person of Indian descent. That's what we got to talk about here. So before we get into the details of what this heifer did, let me give you guys a disclaimer first. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I don't want y'all to get all racial on me. I get on there all races. I make jokes, all races, all right? Now, we're getting this story from people.com because it's pretty short, so thank you so much for the article. Police have released body cam footage of the arrest, and y'all got to see this stupid ass arrest. This woman, do y'all remember, y'all might not be old enough to remember this. Some of y'all in the chat might be old enough to remember when Ray Caruth got arrested for when he killed his girlfriend at the time. Ray Caruth used to be an NFL player. I forgot who he used to play for back in the long time ago. And a woman that he didn't want to have a baby got pregnant, because that's what you do when you're irresponsible. But anyway, that whole situation, y'all remember how they found Ray Caruth in the trunk of that car? If this ain't the same thing, but this is kind of what this reminds me of when they found this. Y'all gotta see this video. Because this woman was literally hiding in plain sight, about as dumb as a box of rocks, even though she has a wonderful education from the wonderful University of Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. Shout out to all my Sooners out there. But I'm sorry, we have got to separate ourselves from this heifer right here. They released body cam footage of the arrest of the Oklahoma pediatrician accused of murdering her young daughter and then trying to make it appear that her little girl had drowned. Do y'all want to take a guess as to why the Carolina Panthers, thank you. Do y'all want to take a guess as to why she ended her daughter's life? Do y'all want to know what precipitated this? Do y'all want to know what made this woman snap and harm this beautiful, innocent little baby? Innocent, beautiful little girl. This little angel, she's a little princess. Look at how she's dressed up. She's dressed like a princess, and she deserves every opportunity to grow up and become a princess. This is just coming from a concerned father. I've raised girls and still raising my daughter's little sister, my stepdaughter, right? This woman's name is Dr. Neha, not Neha like the drink. Neha, Neha Gupta, which I guess that's an Indian background name. She's allegedly 36 years old, so she's far from being young, old enough to be held accountable, right? I don't want to hear no excuses. 36 years old, she is charged with first-degree murder in Florida in connection with the death of her daughter. Maybe we could pass this off to Florida. If not, I don't want it to come back to Oklahoma, but I think we got to take the L for that. So charged in connection, death in connection to her daughter, Aria Talitha. Talathai? Aria Talathai, who was 4 years old. So I'm going to call her Aria. She was arrested in Oklahoma City on July the 1st and has been extradited to face charges in Miami-Dade County. So she did it there. So I don't know if she lives in Oklahoma and was just vacationing there. So whatever. So she's been extradited, where she's been held with no bond, and she pled not guilty. Now, police allege that early that morning on June the 27th, Gupta called 911 from a short-term rental on Northwest 90th Street and El Portal, about 7 miles north of downtown Miami, to report that her child was drowning in the pool. Responding officers found the 4-year-old girl unresponsive in the pool and transported her to a local hospital where, of course, she didn't survive and she passed away. She was pronounced dead. But the water, there was no water found in her lungs. Let me say that again. She's a pediatrician. In order to get into OU, I don't know if y'all have ever actually know what the ACT requirements to get into OU. I think at the time you had to have an ACT of 24. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I wasn't smart enough, or I didn't do well enough on the test to get into OU. I wanted to, but I didn't. I had a 21 instead of a 24. So I'm just being real. So I would think that you would have to at least be book smart enough to be able to not only get into OU, but to graduate and then to be a pediatrician, qualified. She's not dumb. But she's not smart enough to realize that if you're going to say that your child drowned, that they would have to have water in their lungs in order to drown. Because if you kill your fucking kid and then throw them in a fucking pool, then that's not going to qualify as a drowning. Can you be that level of stupid? I guess you can, and you can still get into OU. I'm a little bit jealous. I would never kill my kid or abuse any kids. I would have loved to went to OU and been a boomer sooner officially, right? But they let dummies like this in there. These people go above and beyond stupid. And she didn't realize that no water was found in the lungs of her little girl, Aria. How stupid can you possibly be? Also, doctors found cuts in her mouth and bruising in the girl's cheeks, which would indicate abuse. By investigative means in consultation with the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office, police said that they obtained an arrest warrant on murder charges for Gupta, and she was arrested at her home in Oklahoma City on July the 1st, so I guess that would make her sooner. So yeah, we take the L. Oklahoma City Police Wednesday released a dramatic body cam video, and I'll show y'all that if y'all want to see it, of the arrest, showing police and U.S. Marshals bust down the door to her home after she refused to answer to authorities, yelling her name and demanding that she come to the front door to be arrested. With the guns drawn, multiple officers moved through the house until eventually finding her hiding in the laundry room. Y'all have got to see this. This is unbelievable. At that point, she was forced out of the room onto her knees, where she was placed in handcuffs. Reached out for comment, Gupta's attorney, Richard L. Cooper, tells the People magazine, or People.com, the pediatrician hid because she believed someone had broken into her home and was on the phone with 911 at the time she was handcuffed. So again, she's not a dummy. She hired an attorney that was going to make up an excuse that seemed like it made sense, right? But you want to explain how the baby ended up dead and drowned in a pool with no water in her lungs, no water in her stomach, and no food in the baby's stomach, which I think that she might have been starved a little bit. He called the arrest extremely violent for someone who was otherwise cooperative and showed no indication that she's a danger to anyone in the community. Now, did y'all see that video of that black dude that they busted out his windows, punched him in the face, and snatched him out the car for being belligerent with the police, even though I don't believe that he deserved that? Did y'all see that video that went viral? Snatched him out the car, slammed his face on the ground. That was violent. I want y'all to watch this video and y'all tell me if what they did to her was violent. Because that's what her attorney is claiming, even though we got the freaking video. Try not to cuss. They said extremely violent. Cooper previously told CBS Miami that the warrant for Gupta's arrest was flimsy. Gupta is currently in the midst of a contentious divorce and custody battle with her ex-husband. Custody battle, ex-husband. Doesn't it seem like that would make sense what precipitated her to act a damn fool and kill her kid and abuse her kid because her marriage is falling apart because she's a horrible woman? She's a horrible individual. She took it out on her kid, in my opinion. They're going through a contentious divorce and custody battle. How many videos have I done of the man and the woman not working out, and the woman goes and murders the kid, or the dad goes and murders the kid. Lots of times. It happens way too often. Remember in a day, she was converted from a grieving mother figure to murder suspect by police, Cooper said in a text message to People. I truly don't ever think she saw this coming. Oklahoma police spokesman Master Sergeant Gary Knight disputed the contention the arrest was violent. So I'm going to show y'all this video. Y'all got to see this. What's up, Tommy Ta? Let me show y'all this. Let me show you something.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Yeah, if you guys are watching on the TV, you can still hit the thumbs up. Please, please scroll on your TV and hit that thumbs up. If you're watching from your phone, please hit the thumbs up and share this video. I'm going to put this on the big screen so y'all can see this. Please, please share this video. And I want y'all to tell me how violent this is. Well, y'all remember that black man, I don't remember his name. I'll look it up. I didn't really care because he was an adult. But nonetheless, the one that got snatched out of the police car by the police, slammed on the ground, punched in the face, that was violent. I want y'all to look at this and tell me, was this a violent arrest? Here we go.
Dr. Brandon, breaking news right now. We're getting a new look at the arrest of a mother now accused of murdering her 4-year-old daughter.
Eden is in the newsroom with the story. Eden.
This is a story we've been following since June. That mother tracked down to Oklahoma to answer to the charges.
Breach. Oh.
Neha Gupta, come to the front door. Do it now. For U.S. Marshals, we have a warrant for your arrest. Come to the front door. Do it now.
So that's the moment that U.S. Marshals arrived at Neha Gupta's Oklahoma home, guns drawn, breaking down the door and moving into the home to find her. After searching the home for several minutes, they finally locate Gupta hiding in a room of the home and quickly take her into custody. Neha Gupta claims her child drowned in the pool of a short-term rental property in El Paso. They finally locate Gupta hiding in a room of the home and quickly take her into custody. They finally locate Gupta hiding in a room of the home and quickly take her into custody. They finally locate Gupta hiding in a room of the home and quickly take her into custody.
Okay. Where are my warriors against police and police brutality and violence against citizens? How violent was that? How was she violently handled? Super violent. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe what she had to go through. There was a dead baby, and there's a lot of evidence that points to this whore being the one who's responsible for killing her daughter and blaming a pool. Damn near hashtag not another bathtub story. And shout out to Alicia Jordan. Thank you so much for joining the AFC channel membership. Thank you. Y'all catch that? Look how violent this is. We shall overcome. Where's all my, what do they say in Indian? I don't know what they say in India. We shall overcome this violence trespassed upon our people. I don't know how you say it. I can imitate the voice, but I don't know how to actually say it. So don't take that as me being racist. I'm just being funny. But how violent is that? Really?
Neha Gupta claims her child drowned in the pool of a short-term rental property in El Portal, but investigators believe the little girl was already dead before she ever entered the water. At a recent hearing in Broward County, the judge found some inconsistencies in Gupta's story and ordered her held without bond. She is charged with first-degree murder. I'll send it over to you in the studio.
And now to a crime alert. A doctor arrested accused of killing her own daughter while vacationing in South Florida. The 4-year-old was pulled from a pool, and detectives say she staged the drowning. Local 10's Kristen De La Rosa is live in El Portal with what we've learned about the mother.
Ladies, good evening. The autopsy report basically ruled out drowning as the cause of death here. We're also learning a lot more about what this woman was facing ahead of this tragedy. 36-year-old Dr. Neha Gupta is a pediatrician and a mother now charged for the murder of her 4-year-old daughter. Sky 10 over the scene Friday on Northwest 90th Street in El Portal, the pool where the little girl's body was found and where detectives say Gupta staged her daughter's drowning. Our camera's rolling on the mother hours after she called 911. Detectives say Gupta claims she was here on vacation with her daughter, adding they arrived to the rental Thursday night. She fed her little girl dinner and went to sleep on the same bed. The arrest document says Gupta told investigators she was awakened by an unidentified noise and realized her daughter was not on the bed. The mother claiming she found her underwater within the swimming pool of the residence and stated she attempted to remove the victim from the pool, but she doesn't know how to swim.
She's very, very sad and very, very distraught.
One of her attorneys speaking on her behalf the day of the tragedy.
No foul play is suspected?
No, and the police are also in agreement of that.
But the autopsy is saying otherwise. It discovered no water in the victim's lungs and determined the small victim was dead prior to being placed in the swimming pool. The autopsy doctor's preliminary findings say the injuries are consistent with asphyxiation by smothering. In Local 10 News digging deeper, we've learned Dr. Gupta was let go from her job with OU Health and the University of Oklahoma. She was suspended from patient care given notice of termination and was no longer seeing patients as of May 30th. Gupta was also in the middle of a custody battle. Documents we uncovered show the father of her child motioning to enforce a psychological evaluation back in March and in 2023. I did speak with the father of the small victim on the phone. He declined to speak to us on the record.
And now to a shocking story. A pediatrician from Oklahoma now charged in the death of her own 4-year-old.
I'm glad you caught that. Somebody in the chat asked, why was she fired? If I'm not mistaken, I think they said that she was having performance issues at work. And I think a lot of this was going on all at the same time. So if y'all are wondering what those rocket emojis are in the chat, that literally comes back from an old thing that I used to say, that people like this should be put on an experimental rocket ship. Like if SpaceX comes up with something and they don't know whether it's safe to put people in space or not in, or like with the with Ocean Gate, you could have put her like, and maybe I need to put a submarine on there. You could have put her in an experimental Ocean Gate sub and send her down there to go observe the Titanic and just see what happens. See if the sub will collapse on itself. Or put her into space and see if she runs out of oxygen, how quickly it take her to stop breathing. So that's what that means. So while she was fired from work, a lot of this stuff was going on at the same time. But again, it's so many of us that have to, like responsible citizens of the United States of America, have to learn how to deal with our emotions when shit happens. Breakups happens, divorce happens. She's smart enough to know that if you look up the divorce rates, they are extremely high. Divorce rates are up to about 58 to 60% now. So there's a 60% chance damn near that if you get married, you're probably going to experience a divorce. So if you're smart enough to go through college, you should be smart enough to understand what that entails. The same way that if you have a child, then you know what that entails. What you have to do, you have to feed them, care for them, protect them, provide for them for 18 years until they can become self-sufficient for themselves, to be able to function for themselves. Get them to be self-sufficient, right? That's what comes with the territory. Breakups come with the territory. Maybe it's not such a smart idea to only be with one person, marry that one person, not have no experience, not know how to deal with heartache and heartbreak, and we have to separate. Like there's not really a lot of counseling for that when you're going through it. It just happens, and then you don't know what to do. So in a situation like me, I have a lot of life experience, so I'm actually able to deal with things a lot better. It's still a struggle, but I'm just saying, right? That goes to all my guys and all my women out there. Shout out to all of you guys who are listening. That is a lesson that you cannot sit there and make an excuse for you hurting kids behind what you was going through emotionally. That's never going to work. All right, now let's go ahead and get back to this video. It's on a little bit left.
daughter.
She's accused of staging the little girl's drowning in a pool in El Portal. Local 10's Leanne Morejon reports from the scene.
Gupta is waking up in a jail cell in Oklahoma. She has yet to be extradited here to Miami-Dade County. This as we learn more about what was happening in her personal life in the months leading up to the tragedy.
On social media, Dr. Neha Gupta seems like the loving mother of a beautiful little girl, but investigators believe she killed her daughter and faked her drowning. It happened Friday at a rental home on Northwest 90th Street. A 911 call came in around 4:30 a.m. to report a child had drowned. 4-year-old Arya Talathi was pronounced dead. Gupta told police she gave her daughter dinner around 9 p.m. Thursday and that the two went to bed after midnight. Around 3 a.m., she said she woke up to noise, found a door open, and her little girl in the water. But an autopsy revealed no water in Arya's lungs or stomach and no food in her belly. The medical examiner found cuts and bruising in Arya's mouth consistent with smothering. Detectives believe Arya was already dead before ending up in the pool. Records point to trouble for Gupta. Her ex-husband, Arya's father, filed for divorce in 2022. It was finalized in 2024 and a custody battle ensued ever since. Records show he requested Gupta undergo psychiatric evaluations. OU Health also confirmed she was let go from her job on May 30th. The reason why is still unknown.
Again, Gupta is still locked up in Oklahoma. She will be extradited here to Miami-Dade County to face that murder charge. An attorney representing her says that Gupta did not kill her daughter. For now, reporting in El Portal, Leanne Morejon, Local 10 News.
Thank you for catching that. Shout out to Marie Kennedy. No food in her belly. So again, you have to remember these statements that she's making can and will be used against her in the court of law. You said she drowned. No water in the lungs. No water in her lungs. You said you fed her. No food in the belly. No food in the belly. These lies add up and they should be held accountable, especially when you find out that the information that she gave is not lining up with what the truth is. You should get more time in prison for that. And I hope her attorneys fail at securing her any legal victories. And I hope that she gets to suffer for what she did to this baby somewhat to get some justice on this earth, because it's never going to be enough. We can never get Arya back. That baby can never speak for herself nor defend herself. And we can't even see her grow up and become whatever she was going to grow up and become. But I guarantee you, you look at this into this angel's eyes, she was going to be something way greater than anything her mother ever thought about becoming. I have every bit of faith in her. Arya, young princess, R.I.P. I'm just a concerned father. I do make jokes sometimes, so don't take it personal. I am always going to be in defense of children at all costs. But thank you guys so much for listening with an open mind as well as an open heart. So we're going to get justice for Arya. Justice for Arya, okay? Thank you.